Doesn't they do, once they develop the plan, if they have to reuse plan, go and submit to the city, but they have to go through you guys anyhow, and you guys comment on it?
Soho is a historic preservation nonprofit. We participate in the public planning process, like other community planning groups and communities and constituents do. We aren't the historical resources board that actually designates the property.
Right. So well, following that, then once they do submit plans, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, they do have to go through a historical resources board to follow through with that as part of their process. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
But,
so during a TI.
but I think that the Historic Resources Board is advisory only, and I don't think it actually has any authority to deny an approval.
On this line of questioning, can we ask Nathan, if it were converted to a restaurant, what decision-making processes are you obligated to?
The development services permitting process.
Just a straight-on building permit ministerial.
Assuming that the changes were in line with the precise plan, and so Jody Brown.
You don't have any use permits or any other discretionary actions that would be required to make this modification, in your opinion, at this time?
As long as we're following the precise plans and listed uses, then everything's discretionary.
And just to follow up, that's exactly the question I wanted to ask. Who makes it the decision whether you are in fact following the requirements of the precise plan?
Part of the permit process, you go through zoning, and I think zoning is the staff review level where they would review precise plan.
Process 1, 2, 1?
I would anticipate one.
1. So we'll never see it. We'll never see it. We'll never see it here.
It's not a discretionary review, but he wanted to come receive input. Bruce has been very involved. Usually, if Jody feels uncomfortable, which she's the main historic reviewer that we worked with in the past, we go to the subcommittee of the Historic Resource Board, and Bruce comes to every single one. And I've personally been involved with pretty much every historic board the last couple of years, and Bruce typically comes, gives input, we talk, and he gives input to the board, and they give input to staff. But your point is correct; they're giving really a recommendation to staff.
So time-wise, just to comment on that then, in light of what it means in terms of it coming back to us and receiving our scrutiny, not so good, but in line with us prejudicing ourselves, we can take action tonight, free with not having to be concerned about prejudicing ourselves if the matter were to come back to us and everything. You've got Bruce Coons endorsing Wayne Donaldson. You've got Wayne Donaldson writing a very strong letter. My estimation is that it would be appropriate action in this board to endorse Wayne Donaldson's message to the council and to the mayor.
My preference would be to have this go to our project review committee as an item to consider. Give McMillan an opportunity, other members of the community the opportunity to come in maybe a little bit less, not fewer people necessarily, but a less crowded agenda maybe, and then come back to us next month with the opportunity for us to take a position on this, because I'd like to delve into a little bit more into some of the details, and I don't think this is frankly going to be the last time we're going to hear about a change of use at Liberty Station of something that is considered historic. I think the golf course is next.
I agree with that. So,
that's one feedback on that. So, my recommendation would be to wait until there's a tenant, because we're not going to be the ones doing the plans. So the tenant would lease the space, make plans, and they'd submit them to us for approval. We could talk with them, but I just don't know if I have the details we're looking for, because I can't tell you what's going to happen inside the building. It's just for leaks. So
maybe this will be the first of two. This will be a more theoretical kind of a review, just to look at what the precise plan says, what the historic guidelines say, how they would be applied in a hypothetical situation, so that we can kind of understand what to expect. And maybe it would cause us to want to go to the city and say, it may not be something that would normally come before us, but we would put in a request to the planning department that it be brought before us, if nothing else, just as an information item, when you do begin processing a permit for the tenant improvements. And that might be, and then maybe have a second bite at the apple. We can think about it hypothetically, and then we can take a shot at it in reality.
all right, so let's time-wise, Robert.
Yeah, just really quick. I agree 100%. But I just want to make sure. Really like to see this project again once we see a tenant in there and see what the actual plans are. So we have something more criteria to judge and see if they're in alignment with the historic nature of their complex.
So, Mark, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Is there a formal motion, Mr. Dick?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion that we ask the project review committee to, at your next meeting, to take a look at this issue on a hypothetical basis, the issue of processing adaptive reuse of, thanks, great. Don, you got me.
I'm gonna second it with you.
Okay, so
Okay.
Don seconded, call further discussion.
By the way, this is a momentous occasion. I'm making a motion, Don seconding it. This is, we're making progress here.
All right, it's a good sign, it's a good sign.
So that's my
any
motion.
Yes, Jim.
Yeah, it does not need to be a part of the motion, but I think that one of the things that Macmillan maybe wants to be aware of when they make this presentation as well is, in addition to the adaptation and what it means to the reconstruction of the property and the maintenance of it in its historical context, but also looking at what kinds of degradation happens to it if it's not restored, to give them the opportunity to talk to, because often adaptive reuse maintains the building in a little bit better condition than if it's simply set aside. So I'm not meaning to modify the motion by that, but I think if you came with that whole story, it would be helpful for the.
All right.
decision makers.
So, David first, seconded by Don. All further discussion, all in favor to limit to PRC? 7 votes, unanimously approved. Thank you. Okay.
That was 8.
1, 2, oh, Patricia, you're right. I got it.
Yeah.
Patricia came
You'll
with it.
notice us, because I don't have an update, so we can talk about expectations.
He'll notice.
Yeah, great.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
everyone for your comments.
Thank you.